my little party animals. Hiphiprenee here today with a brand new episode within an episode, or a series within a series. This is San Myshuno Stereotypes. So in San Myshuno Stereotypes, it is the San Myshuno part of rebuilding every single world in The Sims. And what I've been doing with these videos lately is I've been doing the create a sim as well as the build, because each of these houses or community lots or what have you that I am putting into my fresh-faced game, I want everything to be very specific to whatever Sims are living there. It is a very slow process. I think it's been a while since I've done one of these. It definitely wasn't in August. Maybe in June I did one. I should flip through my calendar and see when the last time we worked on one of these was. But I believe it was the Starving Artist that we did last time. So this particular sim is one of my favorite stereotypes. It is the Disowned Heiress. So I feel like we've had this in The Sims before. If I'm remembering correctly, Johnny Zest is kind of like this. I'm pretty sure, if I'm remembering Sims lore correctly, Johnny Zest didn't really get disowned so much as he left his family. I could be completely off base with that. I will admit that I am not like super into all of the backstories of the townies and the pre-made Sims and that kind of thing. So I could be wrong. Maybe he was disowned, but I really love this stereotype. I really wanted to go with, you know, she is very opulent. She is a little over the top with whether it be her clothing or her apartment. She just doesn't really know how to live in a way that is feasible for somebody who does not have millions upon billions of dollars. So her parents, decided maybe this sim, whose name is Mitsy, by the way. I tried to come up with the most ridiculous, rich person name that I could come up with, and I kept coming up with Mitsy for some reason, so her name is Mitsy Harrington. I will likely create Mitzi's parents at some point and put them somewhere else in the game, in the save file, so that way, maybe there's a little bit of a connection from one sim to another. I really want to try and make my Sims save file as rich and lively as possible, so each of these Sims kind of have their own little story. A lot of the San Myshuno Sims will be kind of more standalone Sims because, I feel like a lot of people, maybe not a lot of people, but a decent amount of people, when they graduate college, they're like, I'm going to move to the big city. And that's kind of what San Myshuno is. So this girl just does not know how to live within her means. I kind of took the idea that, maybe she went to one of her grandparents or something and was like, Mom and Dad are kicking me out. I have no money. And they ended up, here, well, we'll furnish your apartment for you, which is why her apartment is so completely over the top. Because it's a little absurd how over the top this apartment is. And obviously, if she doesn't have any money, if she's not making any money, where is she getting all of this furniture? So I kind of assumed that, there was someone in her life that is helping her a little bit. But after that little bit of help, she's kind of on her own. So Mitsy has moved into Penny Pizzazz's old apartment. Penny Pizzazz has finally moved away. Far, far, far away. We all know how I feel about Penny Pizzazz, and it is not a positive feeling. She is probably my least favorite townie, and I think it's because every time I live in San Myshuno, first off, I really like this apartment building. This is the Chic Street Apartments. I think all three of them are nicely shaped, and I don't know, I like the size of them. They're not too small, they're not too big. They're like the Goldilocks of Sims apartments. But God, Penny Pizzazz is the most annoying Sim. She is constantly trying to come into your apartment. She will not leave you alone. She calls every 5 she is the friend that you're oh, good, you found out that we're going to the mall and you're coming with us. You didn't actually invite her, but she found out and she's following you anyway. That's how I feel about Penny Pizzazz. So this kitchen, I first off, I knew I wanted to do pink. I knew I wanted to have pink as a very strong color in this apartment. So I used that throughout the walls. I did end up changing a few of the walls. The back wall by the kitchen, that ends up becoming exposed brick, which is something that I really like about the apartments in my area of the country. A lot of these buildings are renovated warehouses or factories or lofts of some kind. And most of them do have exposed brick, and I think it adds a lot of character to whether it be a build in The Sims or a real life home. I love exposed brick. I think it looks super cool. It just kind of made sense for this particular apartment building. But I wanted to go super colorful too. For some reason lately, I have been really into color while I'm building, which is not something that I normally do. Of course, I always add color to my builds, but I would say not quite to this extent. But I did want to let those pink walls kind of speak for themselves about the type of person that this girl is. So in this living room, you will see I do end up using a lot of the Myshuno stuff pack in here. And yes, I know that I'm pronouncing it wrong. It's supposed to be Moschino. I get it. But I used to sell perfume, and Myshuno has a perfume, and we always just called it Myshuno. So at this point, it's been like 10 years since I worked for the perfume store, and that's just, I don't know. I know that it's wrong, but I can't stop myself from pronouncing it Myshuno, so I'm going to continue doing it. So I did use a lot of this furniture. I tried to use the patterned ones, but the patterned couch with the patterned rug was a little bit too much for me, even for this apartment. I did want it to look nice and put together. And maybe she hired somebody to help her put her apartment together or something. I'm not really sure. But I did end up going with a lot of black and white in this living room, and I think it counteracts the colorfulness of the kitchen really well, because that kitchen is very colorful. I mean, the pink walls, the blue cabinets up top. It's a fun, funky kitchen. I would love to have a kitchen like this. I think it's super cute. And then over in this living room, I did really want to make it, somewhere where she could have her friends over, because, she needs to make new friends now that she is not rich anymore. Her old life is gone. Her old friends have disowned her as well, because they're like, ew, you don't have money, go away. That's the type of person that this sim is. So she does have the fabulously wealthy aspiration. I felt like that's really the one that made sense for her. I was gonna possibly go with acting or the fame one, but I really felt like money was more of the way to go with this particular sim. She is, not happy that she's lost all of her money. She's not happy that her parents have kicked her out of their big, beautiful mansion, and she just wants to go back home. But until she can learn the value of $1 and the value of hard work, that is not going to happen. So that was kind of my idea behind this, is that her parents aren't kicking her out really for any sort of bad reason. It's not like she's a bad person. It's just that growing up with so much money and her parents having so much money, she's never really learned what it is to work or what it is to want for anything. She's always just gotten whatever she wanted. And that's case in point in this apartment too. I mean, she went over to her grandparents and was like, hey, mom and dad kicked me out. I have no money. I need to live in this apartment. Please pay for me. So she's still, even after she's been kicked out, she's still not quite getting it. And I think that's going to reflect a lot in her personality. She is snobby. She is materialistic. She is self-absorbed. She just does not quite get it. And she does have a cute little dog too, which you will notice that I completely forgot about the dog while I was putting this apartment together, and there is nothing in here for her dog. But at the same time, I feel like that's also kind of how this sim would be. She would go out and buy all of these things for herself and then get home and be like, oh yeah, my dog Arlo doesn't have a water bowl. She doesn't think about anybody except herself, and I really wanted that to translate into her apartment. So let me know what you guys think of this one. I think it's super cute. I am excited to continue building in the Chic Street apartments. I do not have specific sims for these apartments yet, so if you guys have any ideas on who you think would be good stereotypical neighbors for this ridiculous heiress. Let me know in the comments down below. Let me know if you have any other suggestions for other parts of San Myshuno. I think I'm going to do a karaoke bar soon using a lot of the new stuff from Moschino. I want it to be, you know, an upscale kind of venue. So let me know what you guys think about that. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up down below. If you're new here or you're not new here and you're not subscribed yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single video. And I will see you guys on Wednesday with a brand new build in Sublani that is also an actual starter home. Thank you guys so much for joining me today, and I'll see you next time. Bye!